Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Nevada's loss is California's gain, and he's got the rundown.
Sam, tomorrow is Marybel Batjer's last day working for Governor Gwynn. Then she begins work with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Today we talked to her, and then we talked to Bruce Breslow. Will that baseball stadium become a reality? Sam?
And we'll be joined by Chris Barrett and Wayne Frediani. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, The Top 8 Risk of Hiring Employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
Marybel Batjer has been a regular on this program, supporting the policies of the governor as his chief of staff. All of a sudden, she becomes the headlines.
Marybel, thank you for being here. What exactly is the position you're going to be holding for Governor Schwarzenegger?
Well, I've been named to be his cabinet secretary. It's not a position that exists here in Nevada. It does exist in Washington, in the White House, and in California, and many other states. Essentially, it is the policy making and policy liaison position between the governor and his cabinet. I will be working all of the cabinet issues, cabinet affairs, cabinet concerns, not only with the large California cabinet, but their sub-cabinet and their undersecretaries and heads of departments.
Okay, with the amount of the deficit in California, some might think you're out of your mind to want to take this job.
I know. I've heard that, Sam. Well, you know, I guess all things are relative. You know, I started in California government before I came home to Nevada. And at the time, I was Undersecretary of Business Transportation and Housing. And my budget in that agency alone was 3 times the size of all of Nevada's budget. So you know what, the numbers just change a little bit, but the issues and so forth are very relative and relevant in both states.
All right. When you went over 2 weeks ago, you had no idea they were even thinking of you for a position in California. You went over for a policy meeting between the two governors,
Well,
right?
when I was called, I had been talking to a lot of the people that had worked on the campaign, because frankly, many of them were my former colleagues from the Wilson administration, and we were a tight-knit group. And so I had talked to many of my friends during the campaign, and as the election wound down and so forth, I I had had some conversations, but when I actually got the call from Governor-elect Schwarzenegger's office, I asked the woman who set up the meeting, I said, can you tell me what this is about? And she said, we want to talk to you about general issues.
So that was it.
Yep.
So, well, you met with the staff while Governor Gwynn met with Governor Schwarzenegger?
No, I met with Governor Schwarzenegger on that Saturday that I went to Brentwood, and we talked a lot of different issues. We talked about, border issues, a little bit about Lake Tahoe. We talked about privatization and some of the things that Governor
Indian
Gwynn.
gaming?
No, we did not. Everyone thinks we talked about Indian gaming. We did not even. It didn't even come up. But we did. We talked about my experience in California because the DMV had been under my responsibility when I was at BT&H. So we talked about the car tax, we talked about the illegal alien issues, and essentially we just talked issues. We talked about the fundamental review in Nevada, many of the things that Governor Gwynn has done and has accomplished. He was very interested in learning that.
Okay, all right, now, excuse me, just a minute.
Go ahead, ladies
I got phone calls yesterday.
You too.
What is Governor Schwarzenegger really like?
He's a very nice man. He's very much a gentleman. Their house is gorgeous, of course, but it's very warm. It's a very family atmosphere. I met a couple of his children. Maria was there, had a delightful conversation with her. They're very warm and open and very down-to-earth people. He's very polite, extremely polite, full of energy. I mean, he's and I think a really interesting thing that I picked up in my brief conversations with him is great optimism. Real great and heartfelt optimism.
Okay, let me ask you this, if you don't mind me asking, and maybe you can't even answer, but is he a person who is a policy wonk? Does he understand how all this works? Or is he a layman with great ideas who can be the figurehead for what essentially is the former Wilson administration?
I wouldn't necessarily agree with your last point, Sam, but I think he's a large thinker, a broader view thinker. Clearly, he does not know the inner workings of state government. I mean, there are things, somebody like Kenny Gwynn, who knows the budget better than anybody in this state except maybe Perry Como. Even Governor Gwynn learns a new budget item. We learned something new about a month ago that just shocked both of us. You know, I think, though, it takes somebody to have that broader view as Kenny Gwynn does. In a state like California, if you get down into the minutia, it will destroy you. I think he has to and will be setting the broader stroke of the broader thinking, the broader initiatives that he needs to accomplish. And right now, it's very clear from the California voters, they want the budget crisis fixed, and they want workers' comp fixed, and they want it done now. And that's what he'll be focusing on.
And what do the Democrats in Sacramento say?
Well, they want to work with him right now. I mean, I think there's some optimism throughout the legislature even. They've been through a tough time. They're tired of it. They're tired of the wrangling and the internecine battles and fights. I really get a sense in just the few times that I've been, a couple times that I've been over, and the conversations I've had, that people are really ready to get to fixing some of the problems.
Okay, last quick question. Now, may I? You said that you and the governor were shocked at something that came out of the budget just about a month ago. What was it?
Well, actually, it was some revenue information, just how some of the gaming revenues calculated, something that we, just a minor detail, but as much as Kenny Gwynn, my point is, as detailed as Kenny Gwynn is, and as tremendously knowledgeable as he is, every month that something else comes in, we go, well, what's that figure represent? Oh, okay, we didn't know that.
If you can make it snappy, get one more in.
All right. Okay. What is it you're most proud of in your 3 years?
That's hard because I think we've done some wonderful things. We reformed medical liability. We
did the RX senior program. You were heavily involved.
Very heavily involved in the reform of the first, and we were signed. When I came on board, there were 300 people signed up, and we now have 8,500 people. So,
and that's where we have
a
to
lot
leave
of
it.
things.
Marybel, whenever you come back to Northern Nevada, please come on the show.
Yes.
Well, home means Nevada to me.
Love it. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers with Bruce Breslow after this.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world-famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square uses the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Andy Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're joined by Bruce Breslow, who serves on the Taxi Commission and Limousine Commission, and he also is representing the baseball stadium that they're trying to get going. And welcome to the program. We have to start off on a sad note. The main partner in your group passed away a week or so ago, C.J. Jones. How is that going to affect the project?
Well, he was the heart and soul of the project. He was the driving force, the person who brought Phil Zive and I and Jeb Davenport together to do this project. And although he was in poor health, he didn't anticipate dying that weekend. There was a medical tragedy that happened and a mistake, and boom. So we're doing this in his memory, putting the effort together. Phil Zive has taken over as managing partner, with Jim Davenport as an assistant, and we intend for Candace Jones, his lovely wife, to throw out the first pitch in April of 2006, and we're still going forward, even more rededicated, but we sure miss CJ.
Okay, now, is your location signed, sealed, and delivered at this point?
Well, Jim Davenport and CJ and some others own 40 acres of land next to the Sparks Marina, so that land's there ready for the baseball stadium.
Okay, and you got funding passed through the legislature to put a tax on rental cars. How much of that money, let me rephrase the question, how close to the actual amount you need to fund the stadium will you be able to raise with that tax?
The rental car tax is the public tax component in this. As you know, we did it because mostly to be paid by tourists, about 98%. It's about 48% of the whole package. So the other 52% will come pretty much from the private sector. Rent from the team, ticket surcharge, other uses of the stadium, things like that.
Okay, will there be any money needed from the City of Sparks?
The City of Sparks originally committed to us for approximately $4 million, and they are now soul searching to see what's the best way to do that. They were looking originally at tax rebates, but you know, when you go to underwriters and you're going to sell bonds, they're not going to insure or write bonds for future rebates for land that doesn't have anything on it. So, you know, the City of Sparks has to pony up in the beginning, and then they will receive, when this is the big catalyst, obviously, to start the Marina Redevelopment District. They should reap some big rewards later. They had asked us, and some of our partners, not me, are looking at trying to put together a package to take down an additional 80 acres, which is owned by an out-of-state landholder that could do a large development around it. But you know, that involves highway off-ramps and major things, and you know, at best that'll be 3 to 5 years before really a lot of development can be up and running, and then the taxes would come back. So you know, the City of Sparks has to look at whether they can help with land or parking or other combinations to try to make this work. If not, you know, last resort, we'll have to take it to another site, but we're going to get this done.
Okay, because I mean, the City of Sparks is not financially flush at this point. I mean, that's a lot of money.
It's amazing how you can find ways to do things.
as
How's
the
that?
former mayor of Sparks,
How's that?
that's a good way to go.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
All right, that was the setup. Nice questions. Hit me hard, Andy.
No. My questions are the easy ones. You know, a lot of the public is enthused about this project, Bruce. What can they do to help?
First thing they can do is log on to the website, because that's how they register and tell us they want to help. So if, may I give the website?
Please.
We're all volunteers, so we really could use your help. It's SierraNevadaBaseball.com. And it's all one word.
And Sierra Nevada Baseball's all one word. .com.
And then on the website, they can learn about what the project is, see pictures, et cetera, play around with it. But there's a button that says Contact Us, and that's where they fill in their own contact information. And then the email gets directed to my home computer, and every night when I get off work, I go home, make dinner, feed the dogs, put my feet up, and respond to all the emails and tell people how they can help, et cetera, et cetera. And we put together a baseball army of, I think, about 800 people so far have logged on with, wanting to help.
Yeah.
And we plan to go to the county commission this month, tentatively set for the 24th of this month, to have a workshop and deliver some things to them, feasibility studies, market analysis, surveys done and things. And the goal is by the end of this year, in December, that the county commission would go ahead and enact the rental car tax. Then that money would be used to design the stadium with HOK architects, et cetera.
So it hasn't started being collected yet?
No.
The enabling legislation was passed, but it has to be
the industry
enacted
enacted their portion, which is a rebate back to themselves right away. But it hasn't been enacted yet. And that will allow Washoe County to get actual costs. They can actually get bids on the stadium before they actually, in the spring, say this works. And there's an out. That's the beauty of this plan the entire way. If this doesn't make financial sense, we won't do it.
Can I ask you a goofy question? If you're raising up the money through, or the big portion of it through this tax, is it a private project or is it a public project?
It's a public project it'll be owned by Washoe County. There will be a stadium authority which will manage the facility once the construction begins. That'll be made up of members from County Commission, City of Sparks, City of Reno, and whoever the key components of Sierra Nevada Baseball. The four of us are here to see that this gets done, but if somebody says, here's $20 million, I want to own the team, I'll keep it in Washoe County and sign the papers, we'll be glad to just settle for one season ticket and get out of the way. We're not in this for anything except to bring baseball here.
Will you keep
and
us
that's
up?
been the whole mantra, and that came from C.J. Jones. If you didn't buy into that, you couldn't be part of this.
Will you come back and keep us posted on how this goes?
Anytime.
And we want to see how the City of Sparks figures this out.
Okay.
As you said, there are
I'm
always
waiting
ways.
to see too.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers with the Pundits after this.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Aboud family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo Free Checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Andy Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're joined by our pundit panel today. We start off with Wayne Frediani, and he's with the Nevada Car Dealers Association. Chris Barrett with IWStrategies, and Marybel Batjer has kindly consented to hang on in here with us and put up with more of this program. Andy?
Yes, we had two pundits who were out sick today, so we appreciate you.
I'm a good filler. I'll be a filler.
Okay, right now there's a lot of talk about public employees serving in the legislature. What's wrong or what's right with it?
Well, obviously, we're awaiting an opinion from the Attorney General's office, and I think they're going to probably inform us well about it. But
do you really think Brian Sandoval is going to rock the boat?
I don't know. You really have to look at our Constitution and read it, as I have and we have in our office. I think anyone on a personal level should be able to serve. We have a citizens legislature. We're all citizens. Our state needs as many good and diverse thinkers as possible. But I think, on a personal level, speaking for myself, I think our state constitution is fairly clear. I don't think public employees, by our Constitution, are allowed to serve in my reading of the Constitution. But
just jump in here, General.
Well, I think, excuse me, Wayne, I think I agree with Marybel. She's absolutely right. I'm hoping Brian will look at the Constitution, review that for what it says, its face value. This is not a new issue in Nevada politics. This has been around for many years. There are concerns about people who serve at the legislature, who work for the university, who work in public offices, receiving public dollars as their paycheck. Influencing their side of the budget, voting on their budget, voting on their raises and their programs. It is a citizens' legislature. It's a fine line.
You know, I think, Andy and Sam, it ought to be a citizens' legislature. I would be concerned if it wasn't, and whether the legalities allow for that, I'm not sure. But if it wasn't, I'm concerned that maybe then all we have in the legislature might be lawyers and people who are not that well abreast of what's going on. And furthermore, I think if you're a public servant, I think you need to do a little bit of a gut check and say, here, what's my ethics? You know what's right and you know what's wrong, and you know what you should be doing when you're at the legislature, and it's probably not collecting two paychecks.
Okay, Wayne, but if you stop, let's say public employees say you can serve, but you have to take a leave of absence. You can't take a double paycheck. Then is it appropriate for people from the private sector to be receiving income from their employers at the same time?
It's a tough question because you have people that work for banks that would be perhaps voting on regulatory policy that's going into statute that would affect their industry. The Legislative Counsel Bureau now, I think, well advises the legislators when to recuse themselves. And we've all been sitting in hearing rooms and before the votes on the floor when that happens. So I think there's been an ability of each legislator to make that call, him or herself, that this is a conflict of interest, it's a clear one, I'm going to recuse myself, I'm not voting on this measure or this bill. So there has been that already part of our process.
But if you have all these public employees recuse themselves and not vote, we could have trouble coming up with a 2/3 majority to pass a tax.
Well, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's a dilemma.
You have a problem with that. Not only do you have a problem with that, another side of that issue, Andy, is that they don't. The citizens who they're supposed to be representing are not represented because they can't vote on a particular budget item.
That's a good point.
Let's change subjects, if we may. Chris, you're rather involved in an issue that's been bubbling over here in northern Nevada for the last few months, which is the spread of neighborhood casinos. Now, Calneva and El Dorado are jointly involved in a project at McCarran and 4th Street, and their immediate neighbors are a water treatment plant and Walmart. And yet there's been a huge brouhaha from the local neighbors. Where does this sit with you right now?
I am involved in that project, and I think it's an industry issue. I don't think it's so much as a legislative issue, but I think people need to look at the way the industry has been going and is going to in the future. It doesn't have hotel rooms. It's going to be limited in its space, et cetera, et cetera. And when someone does a project like that, that is a huge capital investment. They've done the studies, they know what to do and not what to do. I think there's a little fear factor out there, and at the beginning there was some misinformation out there. I think that was a problem.
I guess my big question would be that we've seen a lot more locals casinos down in southern Nevada. Has that caused disaster for folks down in southern Nevada?
I don't know that it caused disaster, but they are quote-unquote neighborhood casinos. And so their client base happens to be the neighborhoods of Nevada, not a client base primarily from other states and other locales. Their clients are not coming across the state border from California, for example, or flying in like they do to visit the Strip in downtown Las Vegas.
But is there a problem with that? I mean, I like going to Tamarack Junction myself.
I don't think there's much of a problem probably in Las Vegas because Las Vegas markets the world, and so it's not as big an issue as it might be in Reno, where the market is a lot more refined.
Okay, if you had to take a bet on whether this is going to go through?
Well, I think neighborhood casinos are getting painted with the broad brush of these are resorts,
yes
and these
or
are
no?
not resorts.
Yes or no?
Well,
We've got to go. We're out of here. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
Lori Ann and the staff of St. Ives Florist invite you to a very special occasion. On Saturday, November 15th, you won't want to miss our 12th annual holiday open house and design preview from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The St. Ives family would love to share our magical wonderland with you and your family. St. Ives Florist, simply the finest, hopes your holidays are simply the warmest.
And I look forward to seeing you Saturday, November 15th at our holiday open house.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
And don't forget, you can catch all 4 episodes of Nevada Newsmakers on KOH News Talk 780, Sunday morning starting at 9.
And 9:30 on cable channels 12 in Carson, Reno, and 19 in Douglas County. And on Monday, Richard Perkins.
We'll see you.